Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Friday, July 26, 2019, the Supreme Court ruled that it would be okay for $2.5 billion to be allocated to Trump's border wall. And what I want to show you is how this was another perfect ritual in tribute to the Berlin Wall. You've been following me since 2015. We've been talking about Donald Trump, the wall, and the Berlin Wall, a riddle which became extra clear when he was declared president-elect November 9th, 2016, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So we're going to talk about Trump, the Berlin Wall. We're going to go back and look at the old TV Western Trackdown, what it had to do with all this. And we're also going to talk about the two judges who've been appointed to the Supreme Court in the time of Trump, Neil McGill Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Now, if you've been following me, the number 2.5 probably sticks out in a big way because, as we know, 25 symbolizes Trump. 2.5 billion from the Supreme Court for Trump for the wall. And the word judge is also 25. Of course, the Supreme Court's made up of 9 judges. The name Pence is 25. It's a big number with Trump. It goes beyond just his name. When he first began, there were the rumors that he might be the first president ever removed with the 25th Amendment. So it's a number that's followed his presidency. Now he gets 2.5 billion for his wall. And remember, when Donald Trump gave his victory speech, which was on his wife's birthday, April 26th, 2016, 197 days before the election, that's the 45th prime number, 197, the 45th prime. When he gave what he called his victory speech, he made 2 guarantees: that he would beat Hillary Clinton and that he would build the wall. He guaranteed it. So now he gets 2.5 billion. The wall's supposed to cost more than that, so they still need more funding, but they're getting there. And take a look at this. It was February 15th that Donald Trump declared a national emergency. Remember, he gave the speech January 8th, which concluded at 9:11 p.m. local. And then shortly after that came the national emergency. This is what the Supreme Court was ruling on, because this is where the money was coming from. So from that national emergency declared by Trump February 15th to the Supreme Court's ruling Friday, July 26th, was a span of 162 days. And that matters because Berlin Wall, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, equals 162. And of course, we've been talking about all this time how Berlin Wall equals 45, like how Trump became the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the wall. Berlin Wall also sums to 63, which is important because 2016 is the 63rd triangular number. He became president-elect in 2016. Triangular number means if you add 1 through 63 together, it equals 2016. Notice border wall also equals 162. Gets the funding a span of 162 days from the emergency declaration. With regards to Berlin Wall being 63, so is Friday, so is CERTA. Why is CERTA there? Because Donald Trump did this commercial in 2009 for CERTA, wearing the same suit and tie, talking to sheep number 9. About being born for the job. When you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. This commercial was one of many pieces of predictive programming for Trump's rigged presidency. Not an accident he's wearing the same clothes he wore on election night. Not an accident the commercial came out in 2009. And not an accident that he's talking to sheep number 9. When you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. And look at the sheep. 11 and 9 on pillars. What could that be symbolic of? Plus, again, that's the date that he became the 45th president-elect, November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the wall. It was the 27-year anniversary. Also, July 26th, the date of this ruling, it's the day leaving 158 days left in the year. Freemasonry is 158. Don't forget that the Jesuits were formed on August 15th, 15/8, and the Supreme Court is very much Jesuit, Catholic, and Jewish. The entire Brett Kavanaugh process was a big joke. The climax, the testimony between him and Christine Blasey Ford coming on the Jesuit order's birthday, which is September 27th. The formation date, August 15th. The birthday, September 27th. So this is the first piece, the Berlin Wall ritual, the latest of many. Been talking about the Trump and the Berlin Wall many times over the last 4 years. So about Trump and the Berlin Wall, some of the earliest things we've been talking about is how the Berlin Wall construction began August 13th, 13/8, like 138. If you write Donald Trump with the alphabetic order, it sums to 138. And if you're wondering why this cipher looks this way, it's because this is the cipher. This is the website I used to use to print out results before Gematria existed. So if you go to Gematria, Donald Trump will sum to 138. And what you probably know is the green cipher, the one furthest to the left, the alphabetic order. D's 4, O's 15, N's 14, so on. Donald Trump 138.48 with the alphabetic order. Wall 48. 60, just like Donald Trump. You see that? Don't forget, Donald Trump had his convention in Cleveland, 48. And the next thing you know, LeBron James, who was the big star in Cleveland at the time, had the show called The Wall. Not an accident. Remember how they both met in the White House on the same day to be congratulated by Obama? LeBron for winning the finals on the real King James's birthday. Donald Trump for winning the election after having the GOP convention in Cleveland. But anyway, Berlin Wall construction began August 13th, 13/8, like 138. And again, this is how we first clued into Donald Trump and the wall riddles and the Berlin Wall. By the way, JFK, who gave a speech at the side of the Berlin Wall not long before his death, in Dealey Plaza. Just look at the overlap with Dealey Plaza and Berlin Wall, which is interesting. From the date that construction began on the Berlin Wall to the date that JFK died, November 22nd, 1963, in Dealey Plaza, was 831 days. 831 days, the reflection of 138. Notice it was 118 weeks and days too. Death and homicide are 118 in Jewish Gematria. So that's part of the Donald Trump Berlin Wall ongoing riddle. Don't forget when Donald Trump gave his speech about how it was an emergency and we need a wall, he concluded that speech at 9:11 p.m. Eastern Time local. Anyone can verify that by going back and watching the tape. 9/11, that's the date. November 9th is written in the majority of the world. 9/11, Berlin Wall. Donald Trump talking to his sheep. Don't forget Donald in Jewish Gematria is 119. And now we can talk about Boris Johnson too, because his name's 1109 in Jewish Gematria. The two men who are both from New York with the same haircut. Don't forget Donald Trump, House of Cards, the House of Cards president, Francis Underwood, 119. Don't forget Donald Trump at the Western Wall, where they plan to build the third temple prior to the release of the shekel, raising money for the third temple with Trump's head on one side, the third temple on the other. Here's Donald Trump wearing the small hat at the Western Wall, Star of David, 119, Orthodox, 119, Ashkenazi Jews, 119, All-Seeing Eye, 119. So, don't forget, this code comes from Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, this practice of coding numbers into words. Also, when the House voted to overturn Trump's emergency declaration, interesting that that was on February 26, 2019, the anniversary date of the 93 World Trade Center bombing. Of course, the World Trade Centers came down on September 11th, another 9/11 date. And from September 11th, 2001 to the day they overturned was exactly 911 weeks later. Remember, there was a big ruling that day for AT&T as well. Go back and watch my video from February 26, 2019 on the AT&T news. AT&T is who made 911 the national emergency dialing code in 1968, the same year World Trade Center construction began. 911. Always the same numbers. Also about Trump declaring the national emergency on February 15th, Trump declares national emergency to build the wall. Starts constitutional chaos. Chaos. Remember, 2019, the year of chaos. February 15th is the 46th day of the calendar year. In the year 2019, chaos, 46 and 19. He said before this year began, chaos would be the word, and it has been. It's been in headlines all year. In Masonry, their motto, order out of chaos. Don't forget when Donald Trump took office, he was exactly 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. 777, order out of chaos, 777 in Jewish Gematria. National emergency and chaos also have the overlap. From when the day that Trump took office, January 20th, 2017, to the day he declared the national emergency, that was exactly 108 weeks. Berlin Wall with the alphabetic order is 108. So again, 4 base ciphers. Got to know them all. Berlin Wall. 108 with the alphabetic order. 108 weeks into his presidency, he declares the national emergency. Berlin Wall 45. He's number 45. Berlin Wall 162 from the national emergency to the Supreme Court's ruling, a span of 162 days. Berlin Wall 63. 63 relates to 2016, the year he became president-elect, on the anniversary of the fall of the wall. 2016, the 63rd triangular number. Again, that's why you want to know all 4 ciphers to see the rituals. And again, this practice of coding numbers into words is called Gematria, which means geometry and language. And notice geometry is 108 and 45 as well. Again, read my book if you want to learn more about the symbolism of these numbers. Now, to go back in time, there was that old Western, Track Down, which released May 9th, 1958, just before Trump's 12th birthday. And if you haven't seen this Western, it's about a con man named Trump who goes to Texas and tells people they need to get a wall or the world's going to end. They're all going to die if they don't get this wall. It's the end of the world. And the town he goes to do this is Talpa, Texas, which equals 119. That show Track Down equals 134, like Make America Great Again. Big number with Trump. So many things connected to him are 134. As we've covered, House of Cards 134, Melania 134, Kushner, a whole bunch of things, 134. And what else is weird is from the release of that episode, May 9th, 58, to Trump's 12th birthday was a span of 37 days. Track Down equals 37, and 37 is the 12th prime number. So it released a span of 37 days from his 12th birthday. I mean, could it be any more perfect? Again, 3 of the last 4 presidents were all born within weeks of each other. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump. Trump was born June 14th, 46. George W. Bush was born July 6th, 1946, and Clinton was born August something in 46. His biological father was found dead May 17th, 46. And then there's a few more things about this Track Down episode. It was called The End of the World. With regards to it airing May 9th, 1958, don't forget that Freemasonry sums to 58 and 59. 58 and 59. We talked about how this ruling just came on the day, leaving 158 days left in the year. Donald Trump announced he was running for the president from the 58-story Trump Tower. You hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. He was the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. Hillary put out her book called What Happened, about why she lost the 58th U.S. presidential election. So 5/8 year release, 5/9 date, May 9th. And oh yeah, Trump's Inauguration Day was even on a date with 58 numerology for one more. People always say, what? He's the 45th president. It wasn't the 58th election. And I always just have to shake my head and go, man, haven't these people ever thought that, like, some presidents have 2 terms, so there's been more elections than there have been presidents? I'm telling you, if you've never seen that movie, Idiocracy, you really should watch it. Might make you feel less lonely, especially if you're awake. But, the con man Trump in that show, his name is the High Priest of Fraud, which equals 223, like the synagogue of Satan, like Masonic. And the director of that episode is Donald McDougal. Donald McDougal equals 138, like Donald Trump. Again, like how the Berlin Wall start date was 13/8. And consider that this episode came out before the Berlin Wall even existed. Again, they've been scripting the news and entertainment together for a very long time. This didn't just start. This has been going on. The con man, Walter Trump, that name equals 50, like Donald, like America. The end of the world equals 83, like the Donald, like election, like leap year. And the judge in that episode, Judge Clement, equals 47 and 119 for another 119, just like the town name. Trump also equals 47. The judge is too cowardly in that episode to go against the con man Trump and his fraudulent wall. And now what do you have? You have a Supreme Court helping Trump reallocate money that was supposed to be for military personnel instead to build a wall. To go back in time, April 26, 2016, that's Melania's birthday. I'll just show you. Melania Trump birthday. Whoops, I can't type. Her birthday is April 26th. So she would have turned 46 years old the day of this victory speech, as Trump called it. You go back and watch it, Trump does make two guarantees we've been talking about for a long time. Look at what time Hannity showed the clip of him talking at 9:58. That tool, Sean Hannity. But from the victory speech, as he called it, to the date of the election was a span of 197 days, which is the 45th prime. If you don't count the span from April 26th to November 9th, the day that he was declared the winner, is 197 days later. So a span of 197 to the election, 197 days later was the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, where Trump was declared the 45th president-elect. 197, the 45th prime. Berlin Wall, 45. Two guarantees. He beat Hillary, and he'd build the wall. So his wife's birth numerology is also 119, Melania. Some people contend she's a mail order bride. Some people contend other things. Okay. And just to go over these Supreme Court justices who helped make this ruling come to light, let's go back to Neil McGill Gorsuch, the man who replaced Antonin Scalia, who went out by the numbers, as we've covered. He was confirmed as the 113th Supreme Court Justice all-time on April 7th, the date that can be written 4-7 like 47. Judge Gavel Obey Authority, they're all 47. Let's just add to that list. Trump is 47. President is 47. White House is 47. Republican is 47. Democrats, what Trump was until Obama took office, Democrat 47. The letters DC are 47. Government is 47. Authority is 47. Again, 47 degrees on the Masonic compass. France was laid out by L'Enfant, a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason from France, 47. Trump in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel the night of the rigged election. But anyway, We've talked about judges in 47 for ages, and in that time we've gotten headlines like this: Judge Judy defends 47 million. If I type that in, I should pull it up. Judge Judy defends her $47 million paycheck. You know, where do you think that number came from, huh? What is 47? Also, April 7th is the 97th day of the year, so it's the most fitting date to confirm a Supreme Court justice. Notice Supreme's 97. 97 is also the 25th prime number. Judge is 25. Trump is 25. This was his first Supreme Court pick. Again, prime numbers are numbers that cannot be divided except for by one in themselves. So there was Gorsuch, and he was confirmed 420 days after the death of Scalia, or 60 weeks. Remember Donald Trump 60, Wall 60. Scalia died while hunting with his secret society, Masonic buddies, supposedly. Died on the 44th day of the year. Lupercalia on a ranch. Ranch equals 44. Kill equals 44. It was all synced up with the Family Guy cartoon of Dick Cheney shooting Scalia in the face. We just covered that in recent days. You guys can always go to my blog and go back and check it out. Or we can just do it quick in real time. Here, I'm going to get rid of every cipher except for the alphabetic order and the cipher where you multiply the alphabetic order times 6. Notice if you write in Antonin, it equals 87 and 522. Notice if you write in pillow, they said they found a pillow over his head. Pillow's 87, 522. Notice justice is 87, 522, because you're just multiplying times 6. We just saw the death of John Paul Stevens 87 days after his birthday. And if you write in Dick Cheney, it equals 87 and 522. And from the day Dick Cheney shot his hunting buddy in the face in Texas to the day Scalia died was exactly 522 weeks on the nose. Day Dick Cheney shot hunting partner, I think it was February 11th, 2006. Yeah, it was. So February 11th, 2006, and Scalia died February 13th, 2016. So just check this out. February 11th, 2006 to February 13th, 2016. 522 weeks. And I'd have to go back and look at my post. I guess we can just do it real quick on my blog. Family Guy, Dick Cheney. Was it episode? Let me see. Meet the Quagmires. Meet the Quagmires equals 87, by the way. And season 5, episode 18. Thought there was something else to it too. But this is the cartoon where Dick Cheney shoots Scalia in the face, making fun of the hunting accident. Dick Cheney is also from Wyoming, the 44th state, just like how Scalia died on the 44th day of the year. There was predictive programming in Futurama as well, and I think it was the 225th episode of Futurama, 522 backwards. In the recent video I did, I covered it in more detail, but I think I made the point. It's about just what a joke our federal government is, what a mockery, what a planned and contrived thing it is. So anyway, you know, the Democrats, the spineless losers that they are, they couldn't get in a Supreme Court justice for, I guess, no reason. They just decided we'd be better off with a Supreme Court justice until the Republican ritual could be completed on April 7th, 2017, something like that. But anyway, you see why it is what it is. It was just a perfectly planned ritual. It just goes to show that Trump, you know, was the rigged selection. The next Supreme Court justice was perfectly named. By the way, here about Neil McGill Gorsuch. Yeah, let's go over his name real quick. Neil Gorsuch. 58-59, like Freemasonry. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential selection. Neil McGill Gorsuch, 88. You see that? 88. Trump, 88. Judge, 88. Justin Stevens just died 87 days after his birthday or on his 88th day of his age. And you know, I was just thinking about how Justice Stevens, how his birthday was April 20th, 420, and he was the last justice to die after Scalia, and then Scalia was replaced 420 days later. There's probably even something more going on there I got to think about. But again, you can just see what kind of puppets these people are. Oh, here's what I want to say. Neil McGill Gorsuch, did you see the 187 in his name as well? 187. Again, Washington, D.C. is 187. George Washington is 87. The ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry is what's etched on the House of the Temple in D.C., 187. The Society of Jesus is 187. That's the name of the Jesuits. Again, the very Jesuit Supreme Court. And, of course, you had Trump with his GOP convention on July 18th, 18/7, a span of 187 days from Inauguration Day. You have the Robert Mueller investigation. Robert Mueller, 187. You know, you got the same numbers everywhere. And the reason you know all the ciphers are relevant is because how they're all used. Just like how we showed how all the values of, you know, Berlin Wall have been used in this ongoing ritual. The Robert Mueller investigation began on May 17th, the 137th day of the year. Washington, D.C., 56. Robert Mueller also, oh, I guess it's 65, the reflection. Anyway, we covered the main points about Gorsuch here. Probably a few other things worth mentioning. From the day he was confirmed to his upcoming birthday at the time was 144 days. Again, the Jesuits in the court, Jesuit Order 144, Trump posing with the Jesuit Pope Francis. By the way, from Trump's birthday to the Pope's birthday is a span of 187 days. But Trump was at the Vatican with the Jesuit Pope on May 24th, the 144th day of the year. And let's see, is there anything else worth mentioning? Yeah, those are the main ones. Okay, and then there's Gorsuch. And remember how they waited until the weekend to confirm Gorsuch on October 6, 2018, after the big Jesuit soap opera? The reason they did it that day, again, October 6th leaves 86 days left in the year. Kavanaugh equals 86, so does sexual assault, what he was questioned about. And October 6th is the day in history that Anita Hill accused Clarence Thomas of sexual assault. Anita Hill, 86, Thomas, 86. On October 6, 91, NPR legal affairs reporter Nina Tottenberg broke the story of law professor Anita Hill's sexual harassment allegations against Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas. How history repeats itself in very contrived fashion. And notice it was 27 years later, from 91 to 2018. Again, Ritual, 27. Ritual is also 45, like Chump, becoming 45th president-elect on the 27-year anniversary of the fall of the wall. October 6, 2018 was a date with 54 numerology as well. Jesuit Order 54. No doubt Kavanaugh, a Jesuit. And it was 106 days from Clarence Thomas's birthday. That's the authority number. Supreme Court, federal government, authority. So I don't know how I can make it any more clear about what a puppet show it is. By the numbers. If anybody wants to phone in, anybody has anything to add or that I forgot, the number is 509-731-0567. Please don't call in and ask me to decode some sports game, but the number is 509-731-0567. And let's see. We got a great caller right here. Caller?
Hey,
What's up, man?
I saw your post the other day on, what was his name, Boris Johnson, the guy just like Donald.
Yep.
And I don't know if you covered this part, but you just had like some CNN thing where they had like, he's got a girlfriend that's like 20 years his senior, right?
Right.
Did you notice the age difference between this girl and Boris Johnson and Melania Trump and Donald Trump?
Is it the same age gap?
Same fucking age, 24 years. He's 55, she's 31. Trump is 73, and I think Melania's 49.
She is.
Hilarious, isn't it? I mean, how fucking dumb can... I mean, they, like we say all the time, they treat us like we're the stupidest people in the world. I mean, how can you not see through that guy and just what a mockery that is on the people? You know, it looks like his twin brother.
Well, and that's what we were talking about in 2016, because they made it seem like Boris Johnson was going to become the prime minister after Brexit, but then it ended up being Theresa May. And you just see how they have it all lined up. Again, from the day Theresa May took office to the day that Boris Johnson took office was exactly 158 weeks later. And, of course, Boris Johnson equals 158, just like Freemasonry. So...
That's just so in your face, man. And no, I just wanted to add that little nugget there that they've got it all scripted for us. I don't know how people aren't seeing it by now. You've been doing this more than 6 years now, and you cover it every day. It's just nonstop. It's anybody that's not covering this, they're not speaking truth. They're not speaking truth. This is where it lies right here. It just shows what a freaking puppet show all of it is. I love it.
Actually, there's a guy online. Let me show you his website if you're looking at my live stream. I don't know if you are, but
I was, and then I called. I cut towards the end of it.
So there's a guy who has a website called Marty Leeds Mathemagical, and he's got the Freemason compass with the capital G in it. In recent days, he's put out 2 episodes about me saying how I'm a fraud and all of this stuff's just coincidence.
The Marty Leeds guy, the guy that uses one cipher.
Exactly. Who won't debate me?
The 4-page ciphers aren't relevant. I mean, please. I mean, you literally, like, what? I'd say 98, 99% of everything every day is in those 4 ciphers.
It is.
And you prove it every day. You've been proving it for, over 6 years now. You proved it even before you knew the 2 ciphers backwards that they were doing this.
And that's the only reason we recognize the that is the only reason we even recognize the relevance of the ciphers backwards, because of how it corresponded with patterns we were already looking at and how it all fits together. So
it's logic, it's common sense, this knowledge that you broke, this code that they're using, undeniable. Anybody that thinks it's not, or it's some of it's coincidence, no. It's all scripted for you. And this is stuff on the surface you got to be able to see what a complete mockery these people are making of us every day. All these contrived stories, that's all it is. But it always fits in with the code. All of it. So it's crazy, man. But this is the world we live in. People they gotta wake up to this. This is where it's at. If you're not talking about this, you're not talking about truth. This is where it is. It shows you what a complete fraud it all is.
It really does. It really does.
Enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I was out hiking yesterday. Otherwise, I would have done a video on this. Well, I worked all morning, and then I went out for a hike all day. Went for the big hike. Went for the 7-mile hike. Anyway, this was the news story yesterday that they had to get everybody all worked up. Supposedly 3 college students posing with guns in front of an Emmett Till memorial. Hold on, we're taking a call, and then I'll tell you what I got to say about this. Caller?
Hey, it's Rich, bro. Finish what you were talking about. I'm chilling.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, notice how they blur out everybody's face, so you can't really see who these people are. They could all work at CNN for all we know. Could be Anderson Cooper, Jake Tapper, and I don't know, whatever other doofus they got there. But the thing is, they were sure to do this right after the day of Emmett Till's birthday. They always love to bring up some Emmett Till-related propaganda around this time, late July, early August. And just the other day, we did a live stream on the murder pattern throughout history. you can add Emmett Till to the list. Supposedly he died 34 days from his birthday, that murder number. And keep in mind his birthday is July 25th. What was the CNN story on July 25th? The one we just covered. The 34-year-old little girl, her body recovered by the pipeline site. Last live stream we did. So on the anniversary of the death of the young boy, Emmett Till, you get the story of the death of the girl whose death had everything to do with 34. And yesterday, the day of this news story, was a date with 27, numerology, racism's 27. That's what they're trying to portray. But look at what they've done with this story, really. Not only are they hitting you with their bullet point, their divisive propaganda about race, they also mix in, you know, the gun control narrative. White racists holding their guns. So it's like two major ongoing bullet points covered in one propaganda-laced story. And with regards to the racial stuff, today is July 27th, like 27/7, like 277, the 59th prime. And look at two of the top headlines. 100 years ago, white mobs attacked black people. I mean, what kind of headline is that? And then you got a black anchor on CNN going after Trump for dissing Baltimore, which is a primarily black city. With regards to today being 27/7, the 59th prime, of course, we know Negro, slave, Rasta, blues, all this number coded all over black history.
Absolutely.
59. Motown came out in 59, and Baltimore equals 95, the reflection. So it's just, when you know this code, you can see through all of the crap that they're putting in front of us every single day. And I bet you if I went and looked at this story right here and this story right here and all these other stories, I could figure out in moments why they're there today. Because again, if you just apply this code, it only takes moments to see through the propaganda. Anyway, what's up, Rich?
I was just calling in. I always love hearing that last caller. I don't know his name or where he's from, but I always hear him, and he's very gung-ho with this. So I just wanted to give a shout-out to him and have him give me a message on Daily Dose of Gematria. I don't know if I've ever talked to him or not. So
yeah, maybe not. I don't know either.
He's called in a handful of times that I've heard. And
I know who he is. Yeah, he lives in Arizona. He's from Cincinnati originally. But yeah, he's a great caller. Yeah.
See, I can't correspond if like people have ever messaged me on the page or if they haven't, you know, or if I hear them on YouTube or if I hear them on the page. It's two different worlds to me, you know. So a lot of times I can't decipher who's who out here. But that guy, he's the kind of people we need, you know. And my question, you know, coming in here is, let's start training our audience to start making phone calls, Zach. I've been saying this for a while. Let's start calling.
You know what's probably more effective than making phone calls is just using Twitter as a weapon. So like if we all went to Donald Trump's page every day and exposed the Berlin Wall ritual and there was 60,000 comments about Trump and the Berlin Wall, maybe people would start to catch on, because really it's a lot easier than making a phone call, and it's probably a lot more effective because most people are on social media. So.
Yeah, but the only thing you got to worry about is, you know, is your comment been shadow banned or something?
Well,
you know? I mean,
this is true.
Don't make it look like you can see it and everybody can see it, but really it's only you that can see it. You know, they're doing a lot of censoring on the internet here.
Of course they are. But if you make a phone call, the only person who's hearing that phone call is the person you're calling, if they're even picking up the phone anyway. So.
But I'm actually saying, though, in all these major cities and all these government offices, mayor's offices, governor's offices, if their phones started ringing off the hook every day with voicemails saying, we're on to your little riddles, we're on to your gematria, we're fed up and we're coming, I just want to figure out a way for us to make our voice heard. I want them to know that we're right there in their rearview mirror somehow. I don't care how we do it. You have a very large audience that will do the things that you ask them to do. You know what I mean? If we can just start, we got to start saying, hey, hello, mother effer. We're right here. Like, I'm the type, if I saw Donald Trump walking down the street, I would be like, what's up, bitch? Right in his face, you know? And we need what if everybody was doing that? Now, Donald Trump knows that we're onto the little gematria games. And that's where I think we need to start. We need them to know that we're right here, you know?
Indeed. Indeed.
It just pisses me off, man. You know, I'm in fear. I'm furious every day. Like it just builds up, you know. And you know me, I need to relax, but I just we talk about it. We get censored on the internet. We don't get censored a lot. We get censored so much. You know, I can tell when I get censored on Facebook. So the same thing's going to happen on Twitter. You know. But yeah, your idea was great. We all go to Donald Trump's Twitter, but we don't even know if that's Donald Trump on there, man. It's all propaganda too.
Well, the point is for other people to see it, because I'm just imagining it. Like, imagine if, you know, literally imagine if the 60-some thousand subscribers I had every day made a point to tweet about Gematria on his Twitter page. A lot of people would see that.
That's a good point. And so maybe they censor it the first time, and then anything from that person gets censored.
Right.
That's the part. That's the part we got to worry. See, that's the part we got to worry about, bro.
Right. That's why what really needs to happen is, man, 60,000 people need to gather in Washington, D.C. and march on the Congress and say, this is your last day in office.
That's the only true way to know. And that, you know, how do we get 60,000 people to start forming? Well, we got to talk about it maybe on every show you do. Like, who's in? Who? You know, let's start making the list. You know I'm there, bro. I'm throwing the brick through the window. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you gotta get healthy first. But yeah, I know you'll be there.
Bro, as long as I take my dialysis, I'll be good. But yeah, I don't want to take up all the time, brother. I want to keep on hyping people up, and let's keep on talking. You know, we can't just talk amongst ourselves. We got to talk to people out here. You know, the more people that join our live streams, you know, I mean, maybe a couple months from now, instead of you having 300 people on the live stream, you'll have 2,000 on the live stream, and then that we got to keep on compiling the numbers, and then we end up building into an army that we need to be. You know,
right.
But I love that last caller. I always love his attitude, and have him inbox me if he's listening at Daily Dose. Man, I'd make him an admin on the page.
Okay, I'm not sure if he's on Facebook, but I'm sure he's listening.
Right. All right. Well, salute, bro.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, take care. Somebody says, Zach, what do you think about Theresa May shaking? I actually didn't look into that story. I did hear about it, but I never looked at it. So I don't know. I'm sure if we go back and look at it, there's something there. All right. Well, if we don't have any more callers, we can wrap it up. I made all the points I wanted to make. Oh, you're saying, okay, you want me to do the Theresa May thing live? Okay. I got to figure out what day the news first broke. Theresa May shaking. Let's see. Oh, was it Angela Merkel who was shaking, not actually Theresa May? I think that's who it was. I know I saw the headlines, but I didn't research the story. I think it was Angela Merkel, not Theresa May. This headline was from July 19th, 2019, which was a date with a life lesson number of 38, Germany's 38. So is death. How old is Angela Merkel right now? July 17th. She just turned 65. So she was, that was just after her birthday. Yeah, I think it was Angela Merkel, not Theresa May. Third time in under a month. Yeah, I'd have to go back and see when all these stories started. Yeah, I'll go back. I'll go back and do it another time. I'm not sure exactly when that story started. I'd have to track back to find the official start date. Somebody says, "Have I ever looked into the Las Vegas shooting that took place?" I'm the guy in the world who should have 1 billion subscribers because I am the guy who said all year to circle that weekend because we'd see the biggest false flag in the US since 9/11, which is exactly what it was. And yeah, you should read my book, man. I probably put out 30 videos on the Las Vegas shooting. You must be new here. I'm on my 18th channel, so all those videos have mostly been deleted. And that's probably the reason my channel got deleted in the summer of 2017, because I was locked into what they had planned for that weekend. So they, when they took out my channel, they took out the 20-some warning videos I'd made about that weekend and what was going down. For people who don't know about that 101 shooting, the Route 91 Harvest Festival on the day leaving 91 days left in the year, it had a lot to do with a lot of different things, but just what was encoded in the shooting, again, it being October 1st. Remember, it happened at a Jason Aldean concert, J's 10, A's 1, 10 1, 101. It was a casino related shooting, Casinos 101, Assassin is 101, Mandalay Bay Casino is 101. The assassin, what was his name? Paddock, who supposedly had the 13 tattooed on his neck. If you had 1 through 13 together, it equals 91. Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting. He was shooting from the Mandalay Bay Casino, supposedly. The story didn't make any sense. And they ended up saying 58 people dead, and it was 58 days. I forget if it was from the governor's birthday or the sheriff's birthday, but whoever it was 58 years old, and it was 58 days from their birthday. But what it was all synced up with was Yom Kippur that year. Yom Kippur is the most important Jewish holy day. It's about atonement for your sins, and Sin City got shot up. Came right after the death of Hugh Hefner. I forget, how old was Hugh Hefner? He died on the Jesuit order's birthday. He wasn't 91, was he? Forget about this part. Hugh Hefner. Yeah, he was 91. So Hugh Hefner died at age 91, just days before the shooting, on the Jesuit order's birthday. Jesuits are red and black, just like Hugh Hefner, known for the red and black smoking jacket. He's got the avenue named after him down there in Vegas. That was part of the ritual, too. That should have been the clue. That's the only thing I could have clued into more with my warning. I didn't say it was going to be in Vegas. I just said we'll see the biggest false flag since 9/11 in the U.S. And we did. So that's why you got to pay attention to those Jewish holy days. That's the same reason we're looking at Tisha B'Av. The Area 51 propaganda, I'm sure that was all part of the moon landing. That all that happened just before the anniversary of the moon landing. Moon equals 51 like conspiracy. Sin City, I saw it had all the grasshoppers right now. Remember, locusts equals 19. It's 2019, just like how Mecca at the beginning of this year had the locust invasion. 19 is the number from the Quran code. So straight out of Stockton comes with the comment, says, yeah, but the shooting from the hotel's debunked. It was shooting by helicopters. But that's not the point. The point is how they contrive the propaganda and the rituals. I always love when somebody comes with like some dumb retort that's beside the point. And where's the proof that there was a shooting from helicopters? All I've seen evidence of is that a contrived, event happened there. The fake blood, the fake crisis actors, the Masonic dummies. That's all I've seen out of Vegas. I wouldn't run from anywhere on August 11th, you know. I'm sure most people will be just fine on August 11th, just like how most people were fine on September 11th. Simple Truth TV says, check out the story about the guy who left to work and left his twins in the car here in the Bronx. Okay, I see that's one of CNN's top headlines today. Oh, they took it off one of the top headlines. Bedridden for 11 years. So twins in New York City. Happened yesterday. Oh, it happened yesterday on New York's. This is so sick. I already see what they're doing here. Do you remember what the story was last year on July 26th out of New York? There were two. One was the last victim being identified from September 11th. July 26th is the day that New York became the 11th state. Let me see if I can pull this up. That's not the one I want. Not Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor had a New York story last year on July 26th too, by the numbers. What was that victim? Yeah, Conor McGregor's story was related to his UFC 223 arrest last year. Oh, this is it. Scott Michael Johnson. September 11, 2001. Remains of Scott Michael Johnson identified 17 years later. So here it is. This is July 26th last year. So a tribute to New York City on New York's birthday, a story related to the Twin Towers. Now, a year later, we get a story about the death of the twins. So I already know that this propaganda is related to the World Trade Centers. The remains of a 26-year-old security analyst. They put that emphasis on finality. On New York's birthday, you see how finality, 42 Freemason, 42 knowledge, 42 birthday, 42 NYC, 42. By the way, New York or birthday also equals 48. The Mets got their 48th win yesterday on New York's birthday. Let's see. But George Clinton, the first governor of New York, July 26, 1739 birthday. New York established July 26, 1788. And the other kicker last year, I have a video on this, you can go back and watch. Last year on ESPN, they started a countdown on July 26th, 39 days until First Take moves to New York on September 3rd, a date that can be written 3/9. Covered all that last year. ESPN just putting it in front of your face, getting the whole media's into this Kabbalah code. So anyway, I just wanted to establish this story from last year. It just jogged my memory seeing that these twins supposedly died yesterday, July 26th. So we already know the story's completely fake. Story comes from the New York Police Department. Who else? Backseat of a Honda in the Bronx. The children's 39-year-old father. You see what I mean, you guys? Do you see what I mean? Where is Marty the moron at? I bet you're watching right now, Marty the moron. Call in and let's talk about how it's a coincidence that every fucking word that has to do with New York sums to 39. Let's talk about that. Juan Rodriguez. So as I was just saying, New York and 39. Let's just do it again. New York 39. It's the Empire State 39. NY 39. NYC when you run in reverse 39. New York, comma, NY 39. You know. The United Nations there, 39 floors tall. Joined the nation July 26, 1788, a date with 39 numerology. George Clinton, the first governor, born July 26th in the year 1739. George 39. Clinton 39. Bill Clinton was born Bill Blythe, married into the Clinton political dynasty his mother did after the biological father died. Then Hillary ends up becoming a part of the family through Bill, and then she ends up being a senator in New York. So anyway, we got 39-year-old Juan Rodriguez. See what's in that name. Juan, 46, 62, 26, 46, 26, like chaos. Juan Rodriguez is 74, like how the World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian. Remember, they always got a code. 48, like New York's 48 if you use the rule for K. 48's also like birthday. Just saying how the Mets got their 48th win yesterday. It's New York's birthday. What else is here? 2 counts of manslaughter. Probably because there's no such thing as Juan Rodriguez. Not this one. They were identified as Marisa and Phoenix. I remember the Yankees. What Phoenix makes me think of is Arizona's the only other state that sums to 39 in the most pure cipher, like New York. That was the World Series after 9/11. Yankees, Diamondbacks play down in Phoenix. Also, I guess that's the 68, like how everything went down in 1968 for World Trade Center construction. 911 made the national emergency dialing code. 2001, A Space Odyssey. George W. Bush out of Yale, Skull and Bones. From Bush's birthday to September 11th, a span of 68 days, so was terror. I think terror is 68 and 94, just like her name. Yeah, 68, 94, Marisa. 40 as well. All right, Marisa, and then her last name's Rodriguez. 92 like Manhattan. Manhattan's 92. And what's the other one's name? Phoenix, like how the phoenix rises out of the ashes. Masonic symbolism. Phoenix Rodriguez. Another 74. Hello. 46, 26 like chaos. Juan Rodriguez is a social worker at the hospital. His friend Temple Barrows. Temple, like the Masonic temple. Temple Barrows. This doesn't sound like a real name, does it? Temple Barrows, 144, 54, 72. Those are Jesuit order numbers. What was the guy's name? Barrows. More chaos numbers. Temple. More chaos numbers. They celebrated the twins' birthday that month, the 7th month, like how September 11th, if you go back to the Julian calendar, September is the 7th month. Yeah, this thing is a joke. This thing is a joke. Okay, good heads up, Simple Truth TV. All right, Rudy Jones says he's going to call in right now and roast this show. Call in, Rudy. 509-731-0567. Let's hear the roasting. All right, Rudy, call in. My dad and son are in the NBA. He's got all the proof. Come on, Rudy. Rudy. So there's another story out of New York, huh? 33-year-old American man living in New York City. Let me see if I can pull up this story. Of course, he's 33. Oh, he's 33. New York's 33, 33 years from 68 to 2001. Let's see. This is also the Bronx, just like, what's Bronx equal anyway? The story of the Bronx. Okay, so I saw these numbers decoding the name of the child to think about where they're going with that. Today has 73 date numerology. It looks like this story is from today, so I see why they would code that today. Looks like this is his name. Delawar Muhammad Hossein. New spelling. So he was arraigned yesterday, also on New York's birthday, July 26th. He was about to go to Thailand. Hello, 33. Thailand's that 33 nation with the red, white, and blue. Well, let's see his name here. Oh, look at that. His name's 96 like Freemason. Go figure. Wonder who came up with this story. Looks like Rudy's a no-show on the call. I was so worried about getting roasted by Rudy, too. It's too bad. Every year on July 26th, it just never fails. They just got to hit you with the, I'm pretty sure every year on July 26th since September 11th, they've given you some New York-related 9/11 propaganda. And they never mention that it's New York's birthday. They don't expect you to know that. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up that first take story from last year with the countdown. Why'd that come up? How could this be? Here we go. Wait, where's the one with the countdown? I wish the search worked better on my blog. It pulls up too much stuff that's not related. Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere on here. Okay. Anyway, I think we made the point. I hear K Diva's comment in the chat. Okay, Rudy, doesn't look like you're going to call in. All right, Rudy. You're not going to call in. You've already embarrassed yourself, buddy. So you got your 5 minutes. Now I got to give you the block. No balls from the trolls. The trolls stick to the keyboard. Rudy had the number. People already posted it in the chat. Oh, hold on. We got a call. Could be Rudy. Caller?
Yo, this isn't Rudy.
Oh, it's too bad. What's up, man?
Hey, have you seen that anonymous confidential video that it talks about a comic book strip from the 90s? Like a rock radio comic strip that it talked all about Trump's wall and it being built and people not wanting it once it was built. It was very predictive.
Hold on. Okay, so anonymous comic strip?
Yeah, it's actually on YouTube called Anonymous Confidential. The name of the video is Share This, Trump Predictive Programming, Illuminati Card Game.
Anonymous confidential Trump predictive programming Illuminati card game.
The name of the video poster is Anonymous Confidential. And my only reason for calling is to share that because I really do believe you live in an upside down reality where you could tell people about the reality they live in and it will stare them blatantly in the face, but it really doesn't matter. Those people are tied to the reality that they choose to be in. Most of them are bought off by the money, by their paycheck even, or their pension.
Sure. Well, I agree. Most people are just too comfortable. Most people, it's just like somebody called me earlier today and, you know, they're saying, what's it going to take for people to get up and do something? And I mean, essentially it's going to take for the power to be cut off and no food in the grocery store and no cable to watch. I mean, until then, most people are just fine in this world. And sadly, you know, that's the reality of it. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Share this video, Trump Illuminati card game, 860 views. It's right there. Right. This was someone who must have had a dream of something that was going to happen with this wall and the people all being harump. I never wanted that wall anyway. And then they built a big and giant great wall and divide the city, and there's no one allowed into the inner parts of the city. And it's just right there, man.
Trump Illuminati card game. Let me see.
Trump
oh, there it is. I got it.
Game.
I got it. I got it.
In 2019.
I see
My
it.
bad.
Okay. All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah. There's a reason he was on the WWE, which had to change their name from the WWF. They always showed him in his suit. They, darn it, I catch myself saying they. He loves his red tie or his blue tie, and he has this fearsome look on his face. And I believe, you know, I was had by believing in voting and whatnot, but it's over, man.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Appreciate the call and the heads up. Thank you.
I'm gonna hit the gym. See ya.
All right, take care. He's got the same idea as me. That's what I need to go do. I need to go hit the gym. So. Featherbird says, no one will ever wake anyone up. Well, that's not true. People have to wake themselves up, but over the years, a lot of people have written, left comments, called into the show and said, hey, man, you woke me up. And I'll always say, well, you woke yourself up, but I guess I might have helped you out. So, you know. But a lot of people, they just refuse to wake up. Yeah, it's good to exercise. I just think all that Area 51, I already said a minute ago, all that Area 51 stuff, they brought all that up just before the anniversary of the moon landing. And again, moon's 51, just like conspiracy's 51, just like federal's 51. I think they were just bringing that up in time just for the moon landing. A lot of people say it was filmed there. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? It's Dimitri Barros.
Thanks for calling.
Hey, you know, I've been watching your show now for a while, and you know, you do really great work. It's a shame that you know, not everybody is able to get the word out. I feel like for the truth community, everybody's kind of doing a shitty job. I myself, I'm working on a few things. I'm putting a few books together. Your work is included in my book. So is Mark Tassio's and a few other people. You know, I just wanted to call and basically say thank you for putting out your videos and for the work you do. Something else that I want to talk about is the video that you made about Trump the other day standing in front of the podium, the Spanish podium, and it called him a puppet.
Right, with the double-headed eagle, the Scottish Rite symbol, right?
Yeah, right. It's funny, because it puts it, that sign right there, that podium, put it right out in front of everybody. And it's funny because that news story was saying that the people that were in charge of putting that podium weren't even staffers from the White House. So it was kind of a deliberate move. It's very interesting. A lot of people don't understand that. And I live in Texas, so it's a red state, and I swear everybody down here is fucking nuts.
I think it's true in most states. And you know what? Now that I think about it, the one piece I don't think I covered about that story is, do you know what state he was speaking in when that was put up?
Actually, I can find it right now. It was saying it in the news story.
That's probably an important detail. I don't think because I just started thinking, I was like, where was he when that happened? I don't think I covered that.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll find it for you right now.
But again, for people who don't know, I just did cover the fake presidential seal put up behind Trump that had the double-headed eagle, which is the symbol of the Scottish Rite. It was July 23rd, and
yeah, I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But he was speaking in D.C. He was speaking at the Turning Point USA convention,
which equals 187 like Washington, D.C. So doesn't, and plus that's where the Scottish Rite headquarters are. So doesn't that make too much sense? But that Turning Point USA, just that name, it's like, it seems like there's a big event coming this year, as I've anticipated, which may come as soon as August 11th. And I just think about that turning point, like, where are we turning to? So,
I mean, what's funny too about Gematria? It's when we do the study of Gematria, because I've been reading books as well, different books that you mentioned. I like the Sefer Yetzirah and the Secret Agings of All Teachings, and then even the book, the Zohar, which speaks very depth into Kabbalah magic, but you must read other forms of Kabbalah knowledge in order to understand it. It's kind of how all these things work. They're all encoded to each other. Something that's kind of like interests me about Gematria in today's world is I don't feel like there's somebody behind a desk computing these algorithms and giving out the details into what to do or what to be contrived. I feel like it's more of a computer that's automatically putting out these times, these dates, off like a Gematria calculator, kind of like how you use, but it's an automated one. And the people behind the presidents, the people who are in the shadows, are kind of dictating people what to do. I mean, it's been shown during the Cuban Missile Crisis during JFK. Secretary of War and Secretary of States all came up to JFK saying that we had to go to war, trying to start a false flag. So there's been many other events too, staging and showing that the people in charge aren't really in charge. But how slim of a chance do you think it is? It's automatically generated code.
I don't think it's a slim chance at all. We've been talking about that forever. It could be an AI that does it and essentially punches out the bullet points for people to follow each day. So it could entirely be like that.
How are you feeling for Anarcha Philadelphia? I know Mark Passio will be there. Will you have some of your stuff content recorded?
Well, they gave me an hour to present Saturday, which is September 14th. And then the next day I'll be on the stage with a panel, and we're just going to have a community discussion on the stage. And I imagine everybody will be chiming in what they know about whatever events we're talking about. So that's the schedule that I know for right now.
Okay. What topic will you be speaking on specifically?
Well, I imagine that the majority of the people there aren't going to know anything about my work, so I'm going to introduce this subject to them and how it's used in the most efficient way possible in an hour's time. I mean, there's a lot to cover, so.
Yeah, too bad. An hour is not. There's nothing. Yeah, that's hey man, good luck though. I don't want to take up too much time. I know you got a lot of people probably wanting to call right now, but I wanted to say good work, man. keep it up. Hey, and if you are, if you can, write another book. I read your book; it was great. You made a lot of different points in there, and then a lot of points that you made in your book. Other authors have made, like a lot of Masonic authors have made the same points. It's kind of funny because I'm a Mason as well, and a lot of Masons are oblivious to this type of work.
So, just to elaborate, since I'm not a Mason, what points did I make that are in tune with the points other Masons have made?
Well, as you said, Albert Pike gives all thanks in Masonry to Kabbalah, and with Masonry itself, it's been very, very convoluted in a way. There's a lot of people who believe it's spell casting and whatnot. However, there's two sides of it, hence why the black and white floor, the duality in it. There's people who are oblivious and tend to think the work is good work. And in all actuality, it's more, it's about the alchemical process. It's about Kabbalah. It's about knowledge that has been hidden, and the reason why it's been hidden is because it gives the truth out. And the truth about it is just all about how you apply it into your life. And a lot of people who are in Washington D.C. are all Masons. This country's founded off Masonry. The House of the Temple's there. Some of the most racist people in the world that are known were Masons. Most families that we know come from Masonic backgrounds. Even like the royal family. There's a whole bunch of shit that goes on in Masonry that the average candidate is oblivious to. And the reason why is because people think it's a social club. Go out there, go have drinks and stuff like that. But it's, to me and other people who are like-minded, really know about this stuff. I don't think I'll ever not be a part of Masonry, and the only reason why is because of the type of knowledge. And I've met a lot of different good people there. However, I'm very fond of the mystical teachings and the Kabbalah teachings that are encoded in each ritual and each degree. And even as you move on to the appended degrees, it's all embodied in there. And that's kind of like my goal now is to write some Masonic books, as in like Manly P. Hall, not really Albert Pike style, but more Manly P. Hall. So that way everybody can kind of understand what Masonry truly is. And so that way people can stop being blind and coming in and being initiated without really knowing what they're going through and why they're going through that way.
Right. Well, I appreciate your call very much, and thank you for your opinion. And call us back again sometime. You have a good day.
Will do. Thanks, Zach.
All right, take care, man. Okay, and he said I should write another book. I've been writing another book. I could have finished it and put it out a long time ago, but I decided that the book that I wrote, the newest one, isn't as good as my last book, and I don't even have my last book published yet. So I was like, what's the point of releasing a book that's not as good as my first book? And so I didn't release that, and I'm still working on it. And for all of you guys who pre-ordered the book, I at the beginning of the year, I put out pre-orders because I was close to putting out, and then I decided not to. For the people who did pre-order, which weren't many people, I do apologize that I've been sitting with your money and I haven't finished the book. But for all of you who did pre-order the book, trust me, when I am done, you guys are going to get books with interest. So I'll be losing money on your guys' pre-orders because I'm going to send you guys a few copies to make up for the lost time. But I feel like that's the best thing I could do since I've made you wait all this time. But I do apologize for that. And I just didn't want to put out something that's, if you're going to put out something new, it should improve on what you did the last time. And it's not that I didn't improve. Well, it's just that it was the book that I worked on was 2018 in review, which covered a lot of the news from last year and built on everything that happened after I put out my book. But I was like, why do I even need to do this? Like, I've already made all these points. I'm not bringing anything new to the table in this book. So anyway, I'm trying to make something better. That's the goal. And I still do need to get my first book in print. That's the other goal. But so far, that's been mission impossible. Hold on, we got another call here. Caller?
Hey, what's up? It's Bobby in Arizona. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Bobby?
What up? I just want to say, because you said a couple times about Turning Point. It's like a thing. It was set up by a younger kid. Well, he's not a kid. He's like 25. His name's Charlie Kirk.
Hurt?
And Candace Owens. Okay, well, you were saying that you don't know why it's called Turning Point. I think it's called Turning Point because it's like you're trying to target younger people to be like turning to more like be conservative as opposed to liberal. You know what I mean? So I target universities and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that's why they call it Turning Point.
That makes sense. But there's also symbolism in why they use that as the excuse for the Freemason symbol. And I'm thinking, okay, what's the symbolism with using this group Turning Point? Where are they going with that?
Right.
So.
Right. No, yeah. No. I just think that's what's on the surface. I just didn't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that, but I appreciate it, and that does make sense. So they're trying to make a turning point in young people's lives to persuade them to be conservatives. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, basically. I don't know if you've seen Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens.
Are you saying Charlie hurt, like an injury hurt?
No. Charlie, I believe his last name is Kirk.
Oh, Kirk, like Captain Kirk. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Candace Owens is like a black girl, a young black girl. She's like, she's conservative, but she's black. She's like the only black conservative.
Okay.
So she's like the face of it to like get people to be like, oh, you don't have to be liberal if you're black. You don't have to be liberal if you're a young person, a woman. You know, you can be conservative and still have the same. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, just thought I'd share that with you while you're live streaming there.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up.
All right,
yeah,
well, have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right. Let's wrap it up. And if you missed this live stream from the beginning, at the beginning I covered what the topic was. Kind of turned into a free-for-all with the phone calls, but appreciate everybody. And before long, I'll be back on the main channel. It's still suspended. So we got another week of suspension to live out. And then I'll stop posting on the sports channel. So, all right, you guys have a good rest of your day. For the person asking if I can do some more calling into offices and stuff, yeah, of course, I'll do that. So, yeah, leave a comment. Where do you want me to call next? Who should I call? So, all right, have a good one, everybody. Until next time.